Hi everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts. I've just got a quick share today on Mixed Media Monday. My hubby brought home a gasket and asked me if I could do anything with it. So I decided to trace it with my glue gun and turn it into a skull. So I'm just going to put some white gesso, I believe. My gesso has suddenly decided to glue the lid on. So I'm just going to white gesso it and wait for it to dry. And so while that's drying, I'll just give you a quick run through of my art journal. This is the cover. I just put some, these are actually resin, these little feathers that are from the feather mold. It's a cake decorating mold. Sugarvale, that's it, from the Sugarvale mold. I don't know why that was slipping my mind. This was just it was supposed to be like a summer sign. So, it's got a little crackle medium on the back. It's actually a little Elmer's glue. It's got a patch for the hole. This one was just done with some texture paste and some, looks like some iridescent paint. I did this forever ago. This was actually like the first or second sheet that I did. Then I did this fish. I did this one for Father's Day one year. I really think it turned out cute with the stamping in the background and stuff like that. It's got paper remnants in the back. A little bit of texture paste. This was actually the first page I did. I didn't even intend to do an art journal, but I just was really inspired by a dear friend of mine who passed away last year, Wendy Jewell. And I've got a piece of her artwork hanging on the wall. So, this got lots of stamping in the background and a little bit of running up here. Little crayon. Okay, this one was a watercolor page with a little bit of embossing. I just thought it looked like a tree, so that's what I turned it into. This was soon after Wendy passed away. I was inspired to do this, tear down the walls. So it's got a couple of stampings, a homemade stencil that I did. It's got some washi tape. This one was inspired by my good friend Kelly Donovan. She often does things like this owl and odd girls and stuff like that. So there's stamping in the background, and I just did this fun little owl. I think he's really cute. This one was based on a dream I had, and I have no idea why I had the dream, but I dreamed about sweets all night, ice cream and cupcakes and stuff like that. So I never do pastel, but I was inspired to do pastel for some reason. And then it's sprayed with some Lindy Stamp Gang. These two are really similar. I'm not sure if you can see them both, but they're both just odd girl faces, so to speak. This one's got some stamping with some glittered embossing powder. And then these are actual cutouts of different pattern paper that I did. And it's also got cutout squares. And a little stamping. This one it's got something in the background. I believe this was a stencil that I did with some really, really watered down acrylic paint. And then I put these dragonfly wings, whatever they are. Stamped this with some embossing powder. These are crepe paper wings. Oh, this one. This one was inspired by Renee Create, who is a YouTuber who doesn't do many videos anymore, but I used to watch her all the time, and she did a gorgeous image, and I loved it, so I did my best to copy it, and painted the background with acrylic, did a city skyline behind her with some stamping, and then painted her dress, and a little bit of her shading with some acrylic metallic colors. This was a stencil. I believe it's plaid. This fern stencil. Still got gesso on me. And then I embossed a couple of leaves and did some stamping. Did a little text. I really like this page. The Music of Fall Leaves. This one was completely my idea. It's a cave wall. Original art. So, we were all inspired. Anytime you ever think you invented something, please know there's a lot of history behind art. We're all copying somebody. Everybody. Then I got to the part where I've put some envelopes. So this is a deco art stencil. The lips. And I pasted some pattern paper hearts on the back. So I just wrote love on it. So the other half of the envelope is for this beautiful summery girl, Summer Wind. So I've glittered her hair after it's been texture pasted. And then I've done some acrylic painting streaks. It's got some stamping, and then I've put some gold leafing around her. This was for the Love Summer Art. So, love summer art. But it's also with the hot glue gun. I did the hot glue gun to outline the shapes, and then I believe I just hand did this with acrylic paint. And I believe I just hand did this with acrylic paint. Okay, I'm not sure where my camera cut out at, but then this is Love Summer Art. I did this with the hot glue gun, and then I just hand painted the rest of it. I stenciled the little bit of the waves, though. just with a handmade stencil that I made. Okay, this one, funny I've said all this before. This one is a 4-piece spread. It's got little polymer clay bricks. This is the Bride of Frankenstein. Sorry. This is the Bride of Frankenstein. I've done some stamping in the background and some dots with the end of my paintbrush. Then this is a window page that I cut out. Did the same background and put some impressionistic roses. I did the same thing on both sides. So it looks like a window that they're looking through at each other. And this one is Count Vlad. Same bricks, same background. I did a transfer of these, and I was going to do some fridge magnets, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to do something with polymer clay for them, so be on the lookout for our future project. And this is Luna. This is the moon that I did. Space background with light from the moon. She's real pretty. I did a transfer of her too. She is a pendant. This one was a fail in my opinion, but only because the face is in the middle. I should have just gone ahead and put it on either side, on one side or the other. But it's got some crepe paper in the background, a little texture paste with some stencils, and some stamping. This one I absolutely love. This one is my own design. It's got some patterned paper in the background, rhinestones in her hair. The stencil says, "A number 2 pencil and a dream can take you anywhere." That is so true. I believe this is where I started. No. Anyway, this is another page with the envelopes. This is my alien girl with some spirals and some splatter. This is her spaceship on the envelope. On the other side is a rocket and a planet to the planet. Again, with some splatters and spirals. I have a feeling I skipped something somewhere. No, alright, good. Okay. This one is so cute. Voodoo dolls need love too. Again, with the pattern paper and the splatters, and I glued a button for her eye. And she's so cute. One of my husband's favorite go-to movie. Jaws. We're gonna need a bigger boat. I just did a little bit of acrylic paint in the background with some stamping. And a few bubbles. This one, I did a transfer of both of these two, but they're just for fridge magnets. This one I did a transfer, and she's a pendant also. She's got texture paste for her hair with some glitter in. And she's just been painted with acrylic paint. This one has texture paste through the Deco Art stencil. I think this is called Honeycomb. And a few stamped bees. This one I was inspired by Cinnamon Cooney, who is an acrylic paint artist on YouTube. And she was doing this tree, but it had like circles or something for the leaves. So I did the same thing with the autumn leaves. And then I just put little elongated hearts in between. A little splatter. This one was also inspired by Cinnamon Cooney, although mine is quite different. It's got this little bit of stamping in the background. The trees, and then this moon that I painted. This one, I also did a stool, a footstool, one of those little kids' footstools. It says something about reaching the things you shouldn't. But anyway, now it has a Halloween theme. It's got resin moons on either end and everything. It's really cute. I'll try to show it to you eventually. This one has some texture paste stenciling. The clock. The butterfly is not, it's only glued in the middle. And then the other page may have just been off one of my programs or something. See, that's the problem. I keep turning more than one page. I love this one. I'm a fox. You're a fox. I love his sleepy little eyes. I think this was a challenge, but I'm not quite sure. This one is a Deco Art stencil, done with texture paste that I colored with Lindy Stamp Gang. Day of the Dead. And actually the Day of the Dead is not texture paste, it's just stenciled with the black paint. This was a sunset, with the tree is also a Deco Art stencil, and I stamped and embossed some gold butterflies. Did some splatter. I did a transfer of both of these, actually. This one is a fridge magnet. This one is a pendant. Texture paste in her hair along with the glitter and some seed beads. Glitter for her earrings. I just hand painted the background along with her. I think she's really pretty. This one was also inspired by Cinnamon Cooney. I absolutely love old maps, and so I was really inspired by this one in particular. It's got burned edges and everything. It's been glued down, and then a little bit of embossing done on it, and it's some acrylic paint. Really, I can't think of what else to do with it, but I really love this page. This page, I'm really not sure where it came from. I should have just done with this and left the butterfly out, but these are embossed with some glitter embossing powder. This is a texture, this is texture paste through a stencil. And then this, if I can get it apart. Why do they have to be the same size? This one is a butterfly. And then this is the other half of the page. This is work in progress. This one I did a transfer, and she's a pendant. I love this one. I hand painted the background with some stamping and some metallic acrylic paint. This one was also inspired by Kelly Donovan. It's just a really fun Weeping Willow spirit. I love her little leaves. All her leaves. And she's got a knot in the middle of her stomach. Not a knot in her stomach, but you know, a tree knot. Then this one, I did a transfer of it. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I had a dry spot in the back of my throat. This one is a forest fawn. And it's got a little bit of texture paste through a stencil in the background. It's a script, old French script from Deco Art. And then I just patchworked the background and painted her. I think she's so cute. She made such a great, she's a pendant. Then this one was again just inspired by fall. I'm not a big fan of fall. Summer is my season. But I love to craft fall. I don't know why. So this is those fabric leaves that just come from the dollar store. There's several different kinds. The background has some stamping, a little bit of splatter. Another one inspired by Cinnamon Cooney. The Witch's Dance. I've done the stamping in the background. I think in the original they're actually supposed to be dancing around a cauldron. I just happened to leave that part out for some reason. This one is stenciled through, I believe this is another Deco Art stencil, and I just used Lindy Stamp Gang. And this one is on black gesso, this one is on white gesso. So there's quite a bit of contrast. This one again was inspired by Kelly Donovan. Just a fun little, like, coloring book scene. Color My World. This one is a work in progress, but the other half is the skulls that are drying. This one was, I believe this one was for a design team project. For color art. So this was all done with whatever the watercolors are called. Totally slipping my mind at the moment. And I am not a watercolor artist. But anyway, this was done with the glue gun to outline the shapes, texture paste through a dot stencil, which I believe is a Deco Art, and then Creativity Blooms in the Garden of the Soul. So that one was kind of fun. Another back of the page. This one is kind of a work in progress. It's almost done. A little stamping in the background around her face, which appears to be screaming. She's really not, but she may be singing. And then that's it. So, it's almost dry. I'll be back. Okay, now that it's dry, I've just got a bit of scrapbook paper that is from a collection that is from Oriental Trading Company. And it's just a Halloween collection. So, I've just got my Lyn's tacky glue, which is always hard to get the lid off. So I'm just going to glue these down if I can even pick them up. Already glued that one down. Okay. Just using my faux bone folder. Alright. Now I just want to let that dry a minute. It really doesn't take long for the Lyn's tacky glue to set up. Okay. Dang, I'm having a hard time holding on to stuff today. This time I've got a little bit stiffer and scruffier paintbrush, and I've just got my white gesso again, which I did finally get the lid off. So I'm just going to dry brush over those pieces of paper and over the little spots that didn't cover. The bleed through spots. Which it's amazing it didn't cover with how much I put on there. Okay. Okay, now I've got some Deco Art Americana paints, and this is the terracotta, the persimmon, the avocado, and the antique green. Sorry, I could not read that. The paint covering the first letter doesn't help. So, I'm going to start with this antique green. Give it a good shake. And normally I just paint out of the lid, but I am trying to break that habit. So, just got my palette knife, and just put a little on my glass right here. And I've just got a flat, sort of soft brush. Not being real specific. Just really trying not to go in the skull area. But if I do, it's alright, because I'm going to cover that back up. Now I'm just going back over the areas to kind of darken them a little bit. Alright. Now just a bit of the avocado green. like to keep the plastic on my lids because that helps keep air from getting in under the flip top. Now, if you use the flip top, of course, take it off. But ooh, this one is quite a bit thicker. Now, I didn't wash my brush or anything like that. Alright. Okay. Okay, now I've got some of the terracotta. I did wash my brush off in between this time. Okay, and then a little bit of the persimmon. But I can't open this one. No, I'm not exactly sure why I chose these colors, but maybe because it was kind of fall appearing. Who knows? Okay, that's not bad. Okay, now I'm gonna dry brush a coat of gesso over the whole thing. So, not too dry brush, but dry brush. Kind of like that. So it will have sort of a streaky appearance. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on, and I will probably go back into the skulls just a bit and clean them up. Alright? Okay, I've got several different stamp sets. These are Inkadinkadoo stamp sets. And I have no idea what this one is called. Wait a minute. Halloween stamps. And I think I'm just gonna use the spider web first. And this is just some Memento black ink, and I use that because it's permanent on polymer clay. And because this is a cling mounted stamp, I could just use it with my hands, but it's a new stamp. So what I'm going to do first is just erase over the surface. Then try that again. And get it on my fingers. So I'm going to go right down here at the bottom. And we got a little bit of an image there. Just a squirt of water to help clean up the stamp. And then maybe let's try this octopus right here. Same thing, because they're new. Just erase over the surface real quick. These are all, I don't know what they call them, but they were made to use with this platform so that you could do kind of different effects. But I don't do that. Okay, what I really wanted was my text stamp. So, let me find that. Okay, this one is an Oriental Trading Company stamp. And I'm not even gonna try to put it on block. And really and truly, I'm not even going to peel it off the plastic. And again, stuck my finger right in it. Okay. Okay, now just a little of the Americana lamp black. This time you do want to be a bit more careful, just because the black is more difficult to cover up. So try to stay in the glue lines. I'm telling myself that. Not necessarily you guys. Now they're starting to look a little more like skulls. Okay, I'll continue on. Okay, now before I do the hot glue, I'm gonna use my food ball, or however you say it. This one's by Ranger. And I'm just gonna do a little edging. And I'm gonna do, once I get it to right, a really rough, jaggedy kind of edge all the way around. And yeah, it will skip a little bit where the edges of the pattern paper are, but you don't really care. Okay, something just like that. Then I'm just going to do a little a little squiggles here and there. And then I'll find somewhere just to write my name. And the date. Okay. So that kind of gives a little bit of a finished edge. Then I'll just need to decide what am I going to use. Am I going to use wax? Am I going to use paint? Decisions. I'll be back. Okay, after weighing my options, I just went with, this is the Deco Art Dazzling Metallics in the Glorious Gold. I just went with that because I figured more people would have just acrylic paint. And really and truly, it's so hot in the studio today that the wax is pretty much just melt. So I'm just going to outline where the glue is. In some places it's thicker, in some places it's thinner. After all, it's just hot glue. Okay. I'm just going to continue on. I actually may do them in different colors. I'm not sure. No, I'm just going to do them in gold. So, I'll be back. Okay, and finally I'm going to do some splatters with some of the Americana Snow or Titanium White. This one, I don't have the lid covered still. So, I'm just going to put just a tiny bit there on my glass. Okay, try to put a tiny bit of water, which there isn't even any in there. Okay, now, watered down the paint. Put it on my toothbrush. There are lots of ways to add splatters. Today I just wanted a fine little mist. Okay, so there we go. One supposedly quick and easy art journal page, and the reason that I call this an art journal is because it's a journal of my art. Not that I journal in it, which I do occasionally, but it's a journal of my art. So when I look through it, I'm looking at my art. That's what I do. I'm not a writer. I should be, but I'm not. So please like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, I do have an Etsy shop. I have a Facebook. I have an Instagram. I have a Pinterest. Most of those links are listed below. I have a blog. So check them all out. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe. And bye for now.